my aunt bought me a suit, and you would wait for the day of the trip to America. I stared at that suit for almost a year. So the day of the trip, my grandfather is putting the tie on my shirt, long sleeve white shirt. It was a brown pinstripe suit, and he's putting the tie on me, and he kept saying Beato, Beato. He said it like 7 times, and I finally said, Grandpa, why do you keep calling my name? And he answers me, because this is the last time you ever gonna hear your name. And the minute I got to America, Beato, Bato, it was never Beato.
Well, welcome back. Welcome back to the Extraordinary Drummer Show. As you know, I'm your host, Cheron Moore. You know, I always say today. Well, I got a legend on the horn today, I tell you. My guest today is a Cuban-American musician known for being one of the participants of, and we're going to talk about this, Operation Peter Pan. He's also the owner of Beato Bags, exciting company. We got to talk about that, how it started and so on and so forth. And the drummer of Beato Band. Please help me welcome my guest today, my friend, Fred Beato. Hey, Fred.
How we doing?
Welcome to the Extraordinary Drummer Show.
Thank you, my friend.
I'm excited to have you on. Let me say thank you to your wife, too, for all the administrative help she's helped us with.
Thank you.
Well, let's go all the way back. Let's go all the way back. Let's talk a little bit about, you're from Cuba, huh?
Yes. I was born in Havana, Cuba, actually Marianao, which is a suburb like 7 miles from Havana. Born in 1952. And then, as you know, in 1959, they had the revolution, and the whole thing went down. So in 1961, there was a rumor that they were going to be sending all the kids to Russia to be trained to be like technicians, etc., of the revolution. So a lot of the parents started freaking out, and they started getting their kids out of harm's way by sending them to America. So when you said Peter Pan or Pedro Pan, it was all the children that left Cuba without their parents. A lot of them never saw their parents again. A lot of them reunited with their parents. In my situation, I left, and I was fortunate that I had my aunt and uncle already in the States waiting for me. But I didn't see my mom for like 8 years, or my grandparents that I live with. Like we mentioned, our dear friend Luis Conte had a similar background. He also left Cuba as a Peter Pan child.
Hi, this video is to say hello to my dear friend Fred Beato, Fred Beato. My name is Luis Conte, and we've been friends for a long time. Fred, we love you, man. And thank you for all the help you give us and all those great bags and all the stuff you do. And you also play beautiful drums, my brother. So God bless you. I wish you the best. Fred Beato, Beato Bags, numero uno. Bye-bye.
Fred, for the sake of time, let me move you forward a little bit. Tell me about Torrance High School and the Battle of the Bands. What was going on with that?
Listen, the closest I ever came to doing something with music was at that tender age. What happened is, remember, this is the revolution of rock and roll. Everybody wanted to be in a band. I'm talking, the mid-'60s, after the Beatles came out and the Stones. It was craziness. So I get to 9th grade in high school. I bought my first drum kit by mowing lawns, because I was not supposed to have drums at the house, because my uncle would tell me, I don't want you to be a drug addict. I don't want you to be a hippie. So I had to keep the drums at the neighbor's house. But I go to school, and I went to the whole campus. And I would say, hey, I hear that you play the trumpet. Can you play Lonely Bull? Yeah, I can play Lonely Bull. You're in the band. Next guy, saxophone player. Hey, there's this guy named Bill that plays the sax. Hey, Bill, I'm forming a band. Can you play Tequila? Yes, you're in the band. Like that, I formed this band and the thing took off. It was amazing. And then the guitar player in the band was the famous David Pack that later became Ambrosia after a group broke up. But that's how it went down. So, you know, back in those days, in every city block in America, there was a band getting ready for the Battle of the Bands. And we started rehearsing, and then we started entering all these contents, and our band kept winning and winning and winning. And we went to the Strawberry Festival in Garden Grove. It was a very big deal back in the 60s. And we won out of the state of California. And then we went back to Atlantic City, New Jersey, representing California. And we won out of the whole country.
1982, you started Beato Bags?
Don't remind me.
How did that come about, Fred?
Well, the way the whole thing started, I was playing in this little club in Torrance that was called the San Franciscan, and there was a gentleman that would come and hear me play for some reason. And then one day he says, hey, my name is Ted DeLeo, and I own a bag company. I make Fender Rhodes covers for Fender, and we make cymbal bags and stick bags, and I would like for you to come to the shop. I want to get you a cymbal bag. And I was so flattered, I went to the shop, and he gave me a cymbal bag and a stick bag, really nice man. And then the nephew of the gentleman that I told you about, Ted DeLeo, he came up to me one day and he says, hey, we can make drum bags, but we don't know how to get them out there. So why don't we make drum bags for you, put your name on them, and that way we can try to get in the bag business. And remember, I'm talking 1982, where everybody and their mother had a fiber case. So what I did at that moment, I didn't even have a credit card. I could not afford, or they didn't give me a credit card. So I literally went on a Greyhound bus all over America promoting Beato Bags. And that's how the whole thing started. So I went to New York, I went to Florida, I went to Chicago. I went all over the country promoting my gig bags. And the thing started taking off. It started really taking off because people saw there was a need for a good gig bag. Okay? So that's how it started. And then what really put the cork in the bottle, I had started taking drum lessons with my other dear friend, Joe Porcaro. And he's the guy that, with his efforts, he got his son involved, Jeff Porcaro, and that's when the company took off like a rocket, when Jeff Porcaro endorsed the company. So that's the beginning of Beato Bags, back in the 80s.
Fred, we do a thing on the show we call Word of Advice, where I ask the guests, I ask the drummer if they'll leave a parting word of advice for the up-and-coming drummers, even the guys at the next level, but that are trying to get traction in this game. Would you leave them a word of advice, please?
Here's the deal. 2 answers. One time I was talking to my dear friend Bob Yeager of the Professional Drum Shop, and he told me, Beato, you want to play the drums? And I said, yes, I do. He says, here's my advice to you. You take 1 year of piano, you take 1 drum lesson, and you go play the drums. That was Bob Yeager's advice to me. And like a fool, I never took piano. The other advice I got for upcoming drummers is that being around the business for so many years now, because remember, I've been at it since when I was 30 years old. That's when I started. I noticed that the real drummers that take it all the way are drummers that learn how to read music. You know, it's good to be a street drummer and be able to improvise and have big ears, et cetera, et cetera. But when you look at people like Greg Bissonette, spent all through high school playing the trumpet. I know of many other musicians, drummers, that play the trombone, the trumpet, the xylophone.
Percussion.
And to me, those are the ones that really take it to the level, because the days of having matching turtlenecks and being in the hottest band in the block, that's kind of coming to an end. Where reading music, I think, is very important, especially when you're a young kid, because as you know, you're like a sponge where everything comes in. That's why, like I told my grandson, no school band, no more School of Rock. So we're kind of going at it. So then he tells me today, I think I want to play the clarinet. And I said, that's fine. As long as you're reading, you can play the clarinet. I just want you to play a quarter note, play a half note, play a dotted eighth. You got to learn how to read music, because that's going to make you a better musician.
I did want to eventually talk about in endorsements, and because I know you was with that company, I think it's called Canopus.
Canopus drums are phenomenal drums, and the owner is the nicest guy. They're like a high-end Japanese drums. And then, of course, I love Gretsch drums too. You know, I got 2 or 3 vintage Gretsch drum kits.
And show your snare.
You know, but I never really got into the endorsement thing, because I was always in the manufacturing end of it. You know what I'm saying? And people look at you, oh, that's the guy that makes the bags. So I never have pursued that. So what I got going with Canopus is more like yeah, I endorse a drum, but it's more like a friendship kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Fred, what do you think of drummers starting their own companies and starting up inventions?
As you notice, everything has changed, because now everything is social media. In the old day, it was about building relationships. Hey, you got to hook up with a guy at, you know, Chuck Levin at Washington Music, and you got to hook up with a guy at Henry and Manny's Music. All that's over. Now it's all social media. So anybody starting out, I recommend they get a real professional media people to help them out. You know, professional people that know the mechanics of social media, because it's all about social media now. You know, selling, marketing, everything is through social media. As you know, some of the big, like, what do they call them? The brick stores or Mortimer and Brick, whatever. They're all scuffling, because I never thought that they would come where people would literally buy a drum kit online. You know, you think you want to smell the wood, look at the wood, touch the wood. Now everybody's buying everything online. So the world has changed, just like the day of the loan me a dime, I got to make a phone call. That's over. That's over too. Now it's a whole different planet we're living in.
Fred, what do you want your legacy to be?
Well, I started in this journey that I got into without even realizing what I was getting into. But I think what I want to tell the drumming community is that I will be making drum bags till the day I leave the planet, because I think it's something that there's a need for a good quality bag. And I think we have gotten to a level where we're giving the drumming community a great product. And my legacy is like, I already accomplished making the name known in America, like I promised my grandfather. And now I want to be a service to the drumming community. And hopefully what I'm offering the drumming community is helping make their life easier. As our product we're really in the pursuit of perfection. I don't cut any corners with my product. You notice every other day now there's a price increase. Our product has 1 inch of foam padding, which is unheard of on a gig bag. We use BT92 nylon thread. We use 10 CF YKK zipper. The material is fire retardant. In other words, I have not cheapened my product 1% with all this craziness of price increases. I want to be known for having left a mark by making a product as proud as I am of the name Beato.
Thank you so very much for being on the Extraordinary Drummer Show. Would you help me wave goodbye to all the fans?
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it, and keep rocking like Ringo.